You can get pretty much any kind of riding that you'd possibly want. It's also super quiet. So on Friday this week, the women's tour, we're coming all the way up this road. This is Black Mountain, up past this hairpin, carrying all the way up there. I'm over in, well, West Wales. Check that view out. And I've come for a couple of days riding, just easy stuff to get some miles in. Last couple of days really since Sunday, my legs have felt really blocked and horrible, and I'm hoping I can find out what's going on with that and just spend a few days clearing the legs and the head actually. But today's first route, I'm going to go this way along a road I've never been down. I've ridden up Black Mountain this way, in this direction, up past the hairpin, oh god knows how many times, loads of times. It's my favourite climb in the UK, but I've never gone this way. I've never come down past the hairpin along this road, and what will happen is it will bring me around the other side of the mountain and up the other way. I've never done that before, so that's the plan for the first ride of these couple of days. Here's the cattle grid, where most people I think would feel the climb really starts on Black Mountain. In actual fact, it starts a little way back down there in Bynamman, in that village back there by the old cinema, and climbs steadily out of the houses in the village up into immediate rolling beautiful countryside. But as I said before, I've never gone up this side, only ever come down it. So there's a good 4.5k climbing all the way up winding road, up between those two hills there in the distance, goes up between those up onto the top to where the quarries are. Then I'll stop for a minute, taking the view, and then descend down. I'll pretty much be back at the van then as well. Wow, you know what, this is all right, this is okay, you know. What a place to hold a stage finish on the women's tour. Well, I say the weather can change in an instant on a mountain. Last bit of video recorded was literally 1,000 meters down there, and the sun was coming out, and now it isn't anymore. The clouds come down, the rain started, and it's got decidedly chillier. I've still got a fair way to go. 3.5k of the climb left. Oh, here it comes. Do you know, I might have to stop and put a rain jacket on. This reminds me of when I climbed Book last year, and I just got so drenched. Fortunately, when I get to the top, I won't have very far to go on the descent, so I may just save the rain jacket for then, keep it dry until I come down the other side, which will probably be in blazing hot tropical sunshine. Still, it's not Zwift. I'm about halfway up, I think. It's just a steady climb from this side. It's nice, there's no kind of crazy hairpins or anything like that. It's just a nice climb, beautiful views, nice and steady, no traffic as usual, no other cyclists. And if this climb was, you know, 50, 100 miles further to the east, it would be packed with riders all the time. I never really ever see anybody on here. Hopefully it'll stay that way, but as they say with traffic, I am traffic. I am a cycle tourist, and the women's tour on Friday will definitely show the beauty of this place off better than I can today. Oh, still a ways to go. You can just see the cars at the summit there, just coming through. That's the top right there. Right, that's it, that's the top. That's where I've just come from, and that's where I'm going. It isn't the full descent, of course, because just after the hairpin, I turned left and the van's there. So a couple of K of descending, I think. No need for the jacket, we'll just get over a couple of kilometres, I think. There we are. Well, it wasn't a couple of kilometres at all. I'd be amazed if that was even a kilometre. But I had a block headwind the whole way, and now I'm really cold. So, don't know how far that was. Hang on, let's have a look. It really wasn't very far. The idea today's 32k. With like 350 metres of climbing or something. The idea being to get out and do a short, sharp ride for a couple of hours and do a bit of climbing, but I've got to get in the van now because I'm getting cold. So I'm back in the van now, a bit warmer and a bit drier, and the sun's come out. I'm in the national park, in one of my favourite parts of the Brecon National Park. People, if anyone wants to know why I love being in Brecon Beacons, this is why I love being in the Brecon Beacons. Look at it, just look at it. It is stunning. It's stunning when the wind and the rain isn't in your face, and it's just absolutely crucifying, but even then it's all right. I'm gonna drive to, I know this road like the back of my hand. If you watched any of the My Own Grand Tour stuff, this is the road that I filmed the intro on, that I used for each of the stages. And there's a little bit I've never ridden down onto Usk Reservoir, which is where I'm headed to have a little recon. Gonna have a coffee and a little bit of bite to eat, and then get back on the bike, do another couple of hours before heading back to Llandovery. Sheeps. Right, coffee's on. Whilst coffee's brewing, let me explain exactly where I am. So, I am in a car park on the edge of Glasfened Forest, which is up there. You can see my van. Forest is up there. This is a bridge you might recognise from the intro for the Grand Tour last year. And this is a sign for Carmarthenshire. So that road leads all the way up to Black Mountain, which is over there. And this road that way and then left takes you to Usk Reservoir. Is there anything worse than putting wet kit back on? Wetsuits, worst thing in the world, right? It's a bit GCM fanboy, isn't it, this? I need to get it under control a bit. Okay, so now you know where I am in Wales. We should probably talk about what you can expect if you come riding your bike over here. In my opinion, it's hands down the best bike riding you could possibly get in the UK, if not some of the best bike riding in the world. So, road conditions are either brilliant or patchy in places. Some of them are farm tracks, you've got to remember that, mountain roads, but they're twisty and windy. The chances of you doing 50-60k an hour descents down those roads anyway are pretty slight, but on the bigger roads that are good and descending, the road surfaces are amazing. You're going to get views. Wow, I mean, what can you say about the views? Every corner you go around is something else that's spectacular. Climbing, mountains, very little flat, but there are some undulating roads. You can go for miles on some of the main roads, which is super quiet, by the way. just with some nice undulation. So you can get pretty much any kind of riding that you'd possibly want. It's also super quiet. Apart from the cattle grids. It is quiet out here. Now, okay, I very rarely come out here in the summer holidays, but when I do come out here, it is often during half term or weekends and things like that, and it is usually incredibly quiet. Even on the main roads, it's rare to see much in the way of traffic. You keep yourself off the main roads and on roads like this in the national park, then you are going to be in for a treat. What not to expect? Okay, so first of all, this is not Cornwall, okay? So you're not going to get good coffee shops, you're not going to get supermarkets. You've got to be pretty self-sustainable around here. There aren't big supermarkets, like I say. They've got some sort of deal, I'm pretty sure, with co-op. There's lots of co-ops in some of the towns which you can go to get your supplies and things like that, and they're usually pretty good, but they shut pretty early. Most of the takeaways in the towns are pretty, basically imagine a normal high street in a town in the 1980s, and you've got the sort of facilities you're going to get in Wales. Most of the villages are pretty small. They've got a main road through them, they've got a couple of shops, but really you need to be pretty self-sustainable. Whenever I come out here, I don't really tend to rely on being able to get anything other than some bread and some milk. The pubs are pretty quiet. The restaurants are just normal restaurants, so you're not going to get any gastro pub stuff out here. Occasionally you do, but they're a real treat. But honestly, you're not going to be able to do a coffee stop ride stopping at somewhere where you're going to get a decent flat white or something like that. It is not going to happen out here. It is so much more remote, and that might put some of you off, but for me, that's the best thing about being out here. The weather is also pretty changeable, as it is in any area that's fairly remote and fairly mountainous. As you can see at the minute, it's nice and sunny, and my f-stop on my camera is bringing it down. 2 minutes ago, the wind's coming howling around the corner, and the rain's coming in horizontal. If you think this kind of bike riding is for you, I'm going to put some routes in underneath. Some of them are short, like 30, 40k. It means you can come out here with the family and go out and do a couple of hours of riding with 700, 800, 1,000 metres of climbing, something like that, and only be out for a couple of hours. You can stick the bike in the car on the roof rack, come out, leave early in the morning, and you've still got yourself a family holiday. There's amazing walks out here, there's waterfalls, there's loads of incredible things for families and kids to do. But if you want to stick your bike in there and get out for a couple of hours and do some training, you can't always get out for a 4 or 5 hour training ride. So I'm going to put a mixture of ride routes below with the distances and the climbing in there. They're all based around here. Most of my rides come out of a place called Llandovery. I put it in a map. Because that's usually where I park up. There's a co-op there, there's a couple of pubs, a place to get some food, and you can go north, you can go up into the wooding areas up in north, or you can go onto the Tirabad Military Road, or you can come a bit further south and you can ride around Castle and up onto Black Mountain and around that area there. The essence of bike riding is definitely exploring for me, but I don't know where I am now at all. That's half of the fun. An hour, 62k an hour. Now we are more or less back at the van. You can just about see it in the distance there. Not a very long ride again for ride number 2 on day 1. 43k, something like that. 815 meters of climbing, just over 2 hours. Don't know what that makes the total for today. But I'll put that up on the screen. There's a decent amount of climbing in not very much distance, which is the idea here. You don't have to ride hundreds of kilometres to get a good workout. Here we are back in the car park. Hey, how's it going? Oh, I'm glad I had the wind behind me on the way home. Yeah, just. Well, not this morning I didn't, hence the kit drying out. But
Oh, it's the second time today.
yeah.